This video outlines the process for unit coordinators to review a plagiarism incident. You will receive an email with a link to the ELA portal with the subject line New Plagiarism Incident Awaiting Review. You can either click on the link or go directly to the ELA portal. When you're in the portal, click on the Plagiarism Records tab. And here you'll see a list of previous records that you've looked at and the new section. So click on the Go button. Here you can see there are 3 records to be reviewed. It lists the record number, the student that's plagiarised, the record type, so at the moment they're under review, the stage they're under review, the preliminary decision, so a level 1, a level 0 and a level 1, who the ELA was, the unit they're in and the date that they were modified. So your step is to go first into the first record. There are a number of features here that you can see on this page. So here you can see the preliminary decision by the ELA was at level 1. You can see the unit name, the teaching period, what the assessment was, the amount of plagiarism as per the Turn-It-In report, the ELA comment. Down below are the list of suggested outcomes for each of the levels. Further down you can see the history or the plagiarism history of that student. So scroll back up to the top and the first thing you need to do is review the comments by the ELA. So in this case the student has attempted to reference and paraphrase, however the formatting is incorrect. You can see here Piaget and Bloom. Now I'm sure that probably looks more like that was Piaget's birth date and Bloom's birth date than the time that they were publishing. So that rings alarm bells. The ELA has also said that the reference list is just a list of websites. To me, this looks more like a level 0, and to be sure, you can check out the plagiarism matrix. The plagiarism matrix can be found in the Q&A section of the ELA portal. By just typing in plagiarism, you can see the plagiarism matrix. There's also an explanation of the matrix. So here at each level, level 0 is more poor academic practice and the process to manage it. Level 1, unintentional or low-level plagiarism, and level 2, intentional. And again, on the right-hand side, how that is managed. So to make your decision, you've got the comment from the ELA, you've seen their history, and you also are very familiar with what is at each level. So we'll change this, and it's more a case of poor academic practice. We'll change that to level 0 and click Save. This means that we now need to send an email to the student to advise the student that they have been found to have plagiarised, and the next step is for them to either take no action, or you might consider them asking them to resubmit the work. In this case, because the students put in the birth date, maybe they're not sure of what the dates that they should be putting in. It's up to you what you decide to do. So the next step is to email the student. Click on Email Student. And it says that the level 0 plagiarism email is going to be sent. This is a templated email. You don't need to do anything else other than then click on the Send button, and the email will go to the student. Once you've sent the email, you then need to go in and change the stage. So you've now reviewed it. It's now a case of changing the stage to final, and that case is finished. Select Save. And here's an example of a level 0 email. So it has the student's name and the date. It explains that there's no action required by the student, just that in that particular unit, plagiarism was potentially detected. Some information about academic integrity and the importance of referencing and their academic practice. It also provides some links to some support services. Okay, so now let me take you to another case where the level might be a level 1 or 2. Click on the plagiarism record, open it up. So once you've opened up the case, you then again need to do the same process again, read through the ELA comments, scroll down to see what the history has been for that student and what teaching period, what level, and then you make your decision. So in this case, we've already made the decision. We'll change it. It's not a level 0. Given the information that's provided here, it's more a case of potentially unintentional. We'll click on level 1 and save. The next step is inform the student that plagiarism has been detected. So we email the student, and you'll find a template here, some information here about what you could potentially put in the email. So the originality report shows sections of text copied from sites and other sources. That's exactly what the ELA has suggested also. You've had a look and you found that there's a lot of sentences that have not been written by the student. They look like they've been copied directly from other websites, because you can tell, because they've used a mixture of spelling. It doesn't look like the student's own work. Because you've also seen the history, it's not the first time that the student has had a concern raised. So you can type in the unit that this may have been found in before. And the information is in the history, so you can find that. And of course that they should have received feedback. So then you can send that email to the student. You don't need to put in a dear and the student's name. This will come out, and also from the unit coordinator. This will come out in a templated email. So send that and close. The last important thing is now you need to send this off to the authorising officer for approval. So the email was just warning the student that plagiarism was detected. They need to take no action at this stage, but the next step is for it to go to the authorising officer to approve. So submit for approval, and that then goes to the authorising officer, and you can see here now the records is at the authorising officer review stage. Here's an example of the email from the unit coordinator to the student advising them that plagiarism has been detected. So it has the student's name and date. It says no action is required from the student at this stage, that the authorising officer is now in charge of it. Again, it reinforces academic integrity and provides a link to the support services available. And here's an example of the email that the student would receive from the authorising officer informing the student the outcome of the plagiarism being detected. So again, the student's name, the date, the student ID, in this case, what the assessment was. So in assessment 3, a case study where there was 44% similarity, and the evidence provided that this is the decision. The student can resubmit the whole assessment for up to a pass mark of 50%. And there's also a link for the student to appeal that process if they want to. The role of the authorising officer is to either approve or reject your decision. By approving it, they will send the email to the student, and in most cases the students will have the opportunity to resubmit within 5 working days of the email. If the authorising officer rejects your decision, you'll be sent an email requesting you to provide either additional information or change them to a different level. Once the case is rejected, you will get the email and you can just go back and edit the outcome, the same case. So some quick tips for you. Check that you have both the plagiarism incident and plagiarism records tab in your portal. Check that your ELAs understand the process in the ELA portal. There's a link to a video that we will provide for the ELAs, the process they need to undertake. Early on, maybe moderate as a team and agree on what is acceptable referencing. How strict and rigid are you about the APA referencing format? Check that your ELAs know how to interpret the originality report. Act on the case as soon as you get it so that you don't have a backlog of cases, although we do send a reminder out. And carefully consider the outcome and the impact on the ELA. So when's a good time for a student to be resubmitting, or when is it better to just have no action for the student and you only mark the non-plagiarised sections. You can find further information on how to lodge a plagiarism incident by referring to the video that will be on the ELA portal. And if you've got any queries or questions about academic misconduct and the SOL plagiarism process, don't forget you've got your teaching coaches, lead unit coordinator, program director, or me as the Director of Learning.